This episode of IG Daily is brought to you by Alienware. There's never been a better time to experience true next-gen gaming.
Another year in the amazing world of video games has come and gone. From all the Booker catches, to turning into seagulls, to Grand Theft Auto mods and challenges, it's been way too much fun for us. Like, way too much. That said, we can't stop what's coming, and that is more video games! So here's just a few of our most anticipated games of 2014. We've only seen a few short, non-gameplay teasers for this 1980s dystopian movie franchise turned game. There may be more questions than anything at this point, but questions mean anticipation. Does it tie in with the original canon, or is it just a straight reboot? What kind of game will this be? Open world, first or third-person shooter? We did see some leaked footage that showed it third person, so it's gotta be. We're crossing our fingers that this is a game that Rage never was. Either way, fans of the movies and or post-apocalyptic games may want to keep an eye out for this one sometime in 2014. Like Mad Max, this remains low on the list because we've only seen a non-gameplay teaser/trailer thing in which there seem to be a lot of interesting elements. Cool old-timey attire with lots of steampunky type guns and weird zombie creatures. The four main characters in the trailer suggest 4-player co-op, but the only thing we do know is at least some of the setting is London. Without a release date, we can hope Ready at Dawn Studios will take full advantage of the next generation capabilities with this PS4 exclusive. Expect The Order 1886 in fall of 2014. Raising well over $30 million, Star Citizen was successfully funded via crowdsourcing and looks to unveil a huge space world full of commerce and combat. It's an MMO and the world is persistent, which means your actions in trade as well as on the battlefield affect the player space. Single player and multiplayer are central aspects of the gameplay, specifically drop-in, drop-out co-op. Additionally, Star Citizen will have Oculus Rift support. Another interesting facet of Star Citizen is the game as a whole is broken into modules. Each module will release at different times, spanning from mid-2014 all the way into 2015. Hotline Miami released at the end of 2012 and gave joy to all those who played it. With its classic top-down style, ridiculous combat, and well-thought-out narrative, it was yet another example that 2D video games are alive and well and can still be tons of fun. With the sequel announced, we can only wait in giddy anticipation for Hotline Miami 2: Wrong Number. There's been no announced release date, but the target for launch is the first half of 2014. From Software, we all know the sequel to the infamously difficult Dark Souls is coming. Despite how challenging of a game it might be, we're actually pretty excited for the next one. Even though in terms of consoles, Dark Souls 2 is releasing on PS3 and Xbox 360, the gameplay that's out there showcases pretty visuals and what appears to be somewhat smoother combat. We'll know soon enough when the game drops on March 11th, 2014. We all know the awesome that is Skyrim. Even if you didn't play it, you've likely heard at least one of your video game friends talk about how it's changed their life. The Elder Scrolls Online looks to follow up on Skyrim, but with a social aspect added to the core of the game. Open world questing and Skyrim-like battle with friends? Yes, please. This is going to be big for all the Elder Scrolls fans out there. Expect this one around spring 2014. Joel? Yet another open world endeavor from Ubisoft. The crew focuses on driving and racing style gameplay. Except here you can go anywhere and do whatever. Sure, there are objectives and a campaign to complete, but it's up to you when you want to do it. The world is huge and persistent and inhabited by many online players whether they're in your crew or not. Car customization is also a huge part of the game and can even be done on the go with a phone or tablet. The only thing Ubisoft loves more than franchises is delaying games, so hopefully we'll see this one sometime in the summer next year. From the guys at Supergiant that brought us Bastion, Transistor is set in a sci-fi world and follows Red, a singer. Red comes into possession of a sentient sword that allows her to use some pretty cool combat abilities. They are on the run from the very start of the game, and aside from that, not much else is known. Though we did get our hands on Transistor at PAX East a few months back and had a lot of fun with it. No official release date has been announced, but we've heard rumors of early 2014. Sadly, CD Projekt Red has stated this will be the last Witcher game, but I think we can trust them to come up with an amazing ending. Or 20. Or hopefully just one. And so far, what we've seen and heard about Witcher 3 is really good. Like a lot of other next-gen games, it will definitely be open world. We've heard it'll take 30 to 40 minutes to ride from one side of the map to the other on horseback. That big of a world with next-gen graphical power along with all the combat, sex, and political intrigue that surround Geralt and the Witcher franchise, this is bound to be a great finish. We can expect Witcher 3 sometime in the summer. Alright, so if you didn't know, there are a lot of video games being made. So many, in fact, that we had to make a whole nother video to hold your attention. So tune in for part 2 when we get to the best of which games we're anticipating the most in 2014.